can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Ugh, sir, how we doing? More horror show at Manchester United. United lose big to Bournemouth, to the Cherries. Oof. I was almost made a joke that probably be inappropriate for our fans, but either way, United, just everything that we did right on Wednesday, we did wrong today. Not good enough by a mile. Got scored on early. Didn't have the umph. Weren't fighting for 50 balls. Didn't create enough. And we get beat. We get beat bad by a team we should not be getting beat bad by. At the end of the day, it's more of the same this season, man. One step forward, two steps back. Every time you get a glimpse of positivity, we get hammered the next game. And this was especially tough because all the fight we showed on Wednesday, there was none of that fight today. It wasn't nearly good enough, and every time they came at us, they seemed to score. So this is United's kind of MO this season, right? If we win in a squeaker, and if we lose, we get fucking blown out. And it's especially distasteful to lose this bad at home against a team like Bournemouth. Christ, their nickname's the Cherries. You can't be getting beat up by a
Mighty
team called
Cherries.
the Cherries. But either way, it's just crisis mode. We're back in it. Can't wait to hear what the press has to say tomorrow.
It's going to be quite a bit. But the good news is we got another match, and it's coming fast. Tuesday, Champions League, Bayern. If we're able to beat Bayern Munich, which, again, I think this team has enough talent in it to do so, whether or not they're going to apply that talent or work hard or the manager is going to pick the right 11 or best 11, and outsmart Tommy Tuchel. They just got kicked in the teeth today, so maybe Bayern it is. I mean, they're already qualified, and if we could turn that around and get some knockout stage Champions League football, sir, I bet you we won't remember this Bournemouth match. So that's the only hope. That's the glass half full. Now I'll give you the glass half empty. It is shitfootball.com. What we saw against Chelsea's bad. They're worse than we thought. We were wide open against them. Yeah, we got all the vibes, FC. Throw the men forward. Get Scott McTominay out there. Like, he'll work for any manager, right? We've seen this time and time again. It's survival. It's not the best 11. The tactics are not really there. We're wide open, and a team like Bournemouth cooked us, carved us up. It's exactly the same vibes, FC, Hero Ball FC. There's nothing to it. It's survival right now at Manchester United. That's why we're so up and down. Managers picking loyal players who will work for the badge, which, again, I want to see. But when you're fighting that fight, this is a tough league. There's nowhere to hide, and that's why we're seeing such inconsistency. You can get up for one game, 2 a week. It's like, what are you going to get with Manchester United? It's like the box of chocolates, sir. You don't know what you're going to get, and I feel like the man and the players are just fighting for their lives right now, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle at United. It's a club in crisis. The takeover's coming. How could any team really perform under all this, all the rumors and management changes above them too? So there's a lot of caveats here, but on the pitch, you know what it is, and it's not a good look.
Yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good watch because all the things that you said, around the performance against Chelsea, for sure. There are a lot of things that we needed to fix. We were open in the back. We were super wasteful with our chances, but at least we fought. We fought in that game unquestionably for 90 minutes. Today, we barely put up a whimper, and that's the difference. Doesn't matter the 11. It's like if you're not going to go out there and run around and try and win tackles and try to win 50-50s, right? Like, i.e. Martial trying to win a ball in the box. Like, come on. It's like playing with 10 men. It's going to be hard to beat anyone in the EPL because all the teams are so strong, even at home. Not the fortress it used to be. So United, they're grasping for anything. And the next 2 games are as tough as it gets. Bayern, I know they've made it, but they're still going to play studs. Like, you don't think Harry Kane wants to keep bagging goals? I think he'll play. They'll play players that would make it into this 11 in a heartbeat, and then we get to go into the buzzsaw that is Anfield, and they're top of the table, and they love to beat us up bad. So my concern is this manager is a stubborn bastard. He doesn't know how to not go for it, and we need to go on the weekend and fucking close up shop and just try to manage the bleeding because the optics of losing big is the last thing this team needs after the terrible result today, terrible performance. And likely, who knows how Bayern's going to go, but it could go bad as well. So we are hanging on by our fingertips, and things can get a lot worse before they get better.
Absolutely, with two big teams like Bayern Munich and Liverpool, we always looked at these fixtures and 1,000-yard stare, whatever you want to call it. I'm nervous. Like you said, Tommy Tuchel, big loss in the league at the weekend. He's got spite. I just know he's going to play a tough 11.
He hates United.
I wish he would just pack it in, but I know he's going to play a tough team against us midweek. And then it comes down to Anfield. Look, Bournemouth cooking us, not good enough. It hurts. It's brutal. Like you said, sir, it's like we're looking for players who will put in a shift. And when a manager is trying to pick players based on who's going to put in a shift, it's not good. It's not good. You should be worried about putting in a shift should be everyone, and then you should be trying to pick the right 11 and the right formation. But we see Varane on the bench again. He can't get a game. Luke Shaw at center back. Maybe that cost us one of the goals. But it's just United is just an absolute mess at the moment, and you're going to see good games, bad games, everything in between. Let's just hope we don't get demolished by Bayern or Liverpool. And talking like that as a Manchester United fan is tough. It's tough to be where we are, looking at that badge, looking at the history of the club. But if you take a step back, the cavalry is coming. Jim Ratcliffe and his boys had a meeting this week. They're coming in with their investment. They're going to take over football operations. And if we look back on this in 5 years, we're not going to remember the Bournemouth match. We're going to remember Sir Jim coming in and setting the record straight, which I hope he can do. But if you look at the people he's bringing in, they got good CVs, they got good resumes, they got good experience. So they got to be doing a better job than what we've seen over the last decade. And I think that's the big win for United fans, no matter how hard it is to take these L's. All right, sir, quick PSA for the podcast. You like the America Red Devils, you like the Muppet Take, support us. There's no sponsors on the podcast. We do it for the love of the game. So if you want to check it out, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Like I said, tons of extra benefits. We do an extra episode every single month. Please check it out. Support us. Join the top tier of the ARD fam. Also, check out our store, americaredevils.store. We got merch. Everything you buy helps support the pod. We got stickers, scarves, shirts, you name it. Please support us. americaredevils.com for your Muppet blog content. So we're talking about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews of the America Devils podcast is a great way to support us. Helps us get found organically by other top fans like yourself. And even better, we're giving away free merch just in time for the holidays. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot of that review to americadevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will personally pick, pack, and ship a free ARD scarf sent right to your door anywhere in the world. Here's a great 5-star review from IJ2219. Awesome, great Man United podcast in the U.S. Thank you, IJ, and thank you for everybody writing those reviews, sir. We're a 5-star pod, but this is not a 5-star team. It is tough times being a Manchester United being a Manchester United fan. Like you said, a little bit of hope. There is hope coming in with Ratcliffe. He is seemingly on the surface doing the right things, hiring experienced people, but even that is no guarantee of success. But at least it's something to grasp onto, because right now, the way we've been going for the last 10 years, we are just more of the same. So there's something to be excited about. There's something to be hopeful for, but there's still a lot of games to play this season, and there's still a lot of ways it could get even uglier. So let's get into this game.
All right, Manchester United 0, Bournemouth 3, Old Trafford in the league, sir. The lineup: Onana in net, Dalot, Magoo, Shaw, Reguilon back four, McTominay, Amrabat, Bruno, Garnacho on the left. Martial comes in at striker. Would he do anything? Anthony on the right. How are you feeling about this 11?
I mean, the only one that was a shocker, we thought he would do this, is basically the second half team from the Chelsea game minus Martial. That was the only thing that really surprised me. Is like, what the hell is Tony Martial doing it? Okay, I guess it was 2 days rest. He doesn't want to risk Højlund getting injured again. But from minute one, the drop off of not having his pressing, that is Højlund, was very apparent. It's like, if you don't start from the tip, you lose so much of it. You saw that in the last 10 minutes against Chelsea when Rashford came in and walked around. So you have to do it with all 11, and that was a big drop down from minute one.
Look, game kicked off. Don't concede early. 5th minute.
Cook running onto that. Oh, it's a lovely flick from Dominic Solanke. Bournemouth have an early lead at Old Trafford. An early setback for Erik ten Hag. winner sums up Solanke's season and Bournemouth's recent run.
Look, it's a tough goal to concede. We were bombing forward, right? And we get caught out against the run of play, playing out the back, a little too pedestrian. Rabat doesn't sense the danger, doesn't sense the run. Obviously, Shaw switched off, Magoo. It's just a little too lackadaisical from the back line, not sensing the danger of playing out the back there. And I think everyone was kind of looking for someone else to deal with this ball. So really snoozing from United, but great finish from Solanke. They were wise to it, and just a tough start. It's just a tough start for United.
No, exactly. Because like you said, we started brightly enough, and then all of a sudden you concede such a poor goal. Bad defense. I mean, come on. Everything that Amrabat and Shaw did well a couple days ago, they didn't do well in this goal, right? Because they were all over it. They were shutting down those type of balls in, or they were blasting them out when they did come in, i.e. Shaw. So I don't know if they're tired. I don't know if they're not up for it. I don't know if they're trying to get up for it. But that is just like, you give them chances like that, they're going to score. You have to defend better, and that's just not nearly good enough.
United had a flurry of chances, but Bournemouth always had bodies in the box. I feel like we just couldn't get a proper shot on target. 30th minute yellow for Reguilón. United were under pressure, and we did maintain most of the possession in the first half. We had some chances in corners, but no real dangerous threats on target, which I think goes to that Chelsea theme. We just aren't ruthless enough in attack. Coming out in the second half, Erik ten Hag decides to change it. 56th minute, Højlund replaces the bluffer Anthony Martial. Obviously,
should have happened at halftime.
I was surprised he even started, given all the rumors we've heard, everything. But it seems to me, you say it's the Højlund that he's playing for the injuries. I don't know. This one was definitely strange that he started Martial. Didn't get anything out of him.
Certainly did not get anything out of it. I do think it's the minutes, like he just played. He's coming off another injury. I think they're trying to manage him. Obviously, the drop down, even that we haven't gotten Højlund goals in the Premier League, it's so apparent to any United fan. Like he tracks back, he makes runs, he presses, and Martial looks like a guy who should have been sold about 5 years ago, just like walking around.
And shortly after he came on, there was a great chance for United breaking forward. Dalot takes the shot in the side of the net, doesn't pass to Højlund. I think that's the theme. I think he's a great prospect, one for the future. 60th minute yellow card for Højlund, adding to our concerns regarding discipline in this match, and we'll get to that a little later. And, not creating enough chances. And in the 68th minute, Bournemouth getting out the seasoning, heating up the pan, cooking United here.
Hoisted in towards bang! 2-0 to Bournemouth. Philip Billing this time. And this is their theatre of dreams today. They're on course for their first ever win at Old Trafford.
Those are some bad-looking kits. That's the only thing I can say about Bournemouth. But bad defending from United again. Shaw undone here by that's what you play Shaw at center back. He's a left back. He doesn't have the physicality. Obviously, bad ball by Shaw. Then getting back and then covering his man, but he's not getting enough help there. It's just really sloppy from United. Again, another sloppy goal. Bad defending, turnover, self-inflicted wounds here.
Same as the first goal. Shaw definitely has to do better. So does Reguilón. He kind of leaves his man in no man's land. Bad giveaway, like you said, and then we don't track back. It's just the level of effort that we showed in this game versus the Chelsea game. It looks like two different teams, and I think that's United. It's like we're a Jekyll and Hyde team at the moment. It's like you never know what you're gonna get. You talk about the box of chocolates, and even when we do play well or play with some heart, there's still big issues, right? Like we did see against Chelsea. So this team, bro, I'm running out of words to talk about them.
We got more goals. Bournemouth scored again, sir. 73rd minute. Let me know what you think about it. Set piece corner.
Bournemouth putting all the players in there. Only one man on the penalty spot.
Tavernier tries again. That's a good one. And that's a goal again for Bournemouth.
Could you defend a set piece worse? Could you have a more open, like literally just he lives a pass straight to the man, no defending. He just free header into the goal. Like that is atrocious. That is like, to me, it's like I'm glad I'm not upset because I'm already checked out of this season realistically. But it's just like, that's just so bad that there's no real words to describe it. Like, that's horrible.
I'm upset.
I know you are. Sir. I know
Clearly,
you're still,
like many United
you're still
fans,
riding that wave. I'm just like, this is just horrible. It's like what we're gonna get.
I mean, dude, all the goals in this game were preventable. This one, like nobody makes a move, nobody makes a jump. That's my boy or our boy or the boy of the month, player of the month. Magoo doesn't come out, and if you don't defend, you're gonna get scored on. And the first goal, we didn't defend. Second goal, didn't defend. Third goal, corner. It's unbelievable that we can concede so many goals from corners and we get no good chances from corners ourselves. Like, we have no ability to get corners. Even the last game, I think we had 13 corners and we can't score. Not good enough, bro. I just like a different team. I don't know. It's frustrating.
Down 3. Why don't you do the triple sub? Rashford, Evans, and Palestre come on for Garnacho, Shaw, Anthony. Again, nothing. 84th minute. Here we get into it. Yellow card for Bruno Fernandes, capping off the challenging match for United. And this one, he got the yellow for complaining to the referee. He got the yellow for, sir.
Your lips are moving and you're complaining about something. That's whinging.
Sir, you know, our captain of whinging, Bruno Fernandes, whinges his way to another yellow card, which sees him not playing at Anfield. And this, to me, is the worst part of the game. The 3-0, all right. But having our captain complain and get a yellow and then is going to miss arguably like one of the most important games of the year. And that game last year, he was whinging quite a bit, a part of the 7-0. And I feel like he needs to redeem himself a little bit. And to whinge his way out of that game is just tough. This is salt in the wound.
Oh, without a doubt. This is not the behavior you want to see from your captain. Honestly, you can't see it. This game is already lost. He's on the field because, unlike some players, he at least runs for 90 minutes. But this is, it's a gut punch. It's super disappointing. But at the end of the day, we're not winning next weekend anyway. And every time we lose big, he gets singled out. And as someone who's a Bruno Fernandes fan, it's like, it's true, bro. He gets singled out more than any other player, and he is the captain. I get that. It happened to Maguire when he was the captain. But not good. Not good. But if you're going to miss a game, why not miss the game that you're going to lose no matter what?
I don't think that's the view to take. It's like our captain, the captain of Manchester United, should complain his way out of playing in important games.
The fact that he wins his way to the yellow card.
You're like, it's good that he whinged his way out of playing because we're going to lose so badly. That's the rationale. It's like the captain of Manchester United has to be the one who's got his head about him the most on the pitch. And like I said, when he got the armband, yes, he's the best player at Manchester United. Yes, he runs really hard, but he is a hot-headed. It comes from the Iberian Peninsula, sir. I got Portuguese in my blood. You've seen me get hot. It's like, at the end of the day, if this guy can't keep his cool on the pitch, should he be wearing the armband? I think this is like showing you the state of Manchester United. It's like if this was a challenge, if this was a tackle, if this was something like that, I don't think anyone would be bothered, but he complained to get a yellow after we're down 3 at home. And he's going to hurt us. Like, you need Bruno on the pitch in Anfield. We need him.
So he's going to get blamed even if he doesn't play.
He's the captain.
This is not a thing that usually
gives you.
All of a sudden, they start giving these yellow cards, like 4 games ago when they had that big incident with the City game.
No, at the start of the season, he got a yellow for whinging. He's also part of the yellows that have led to the suspension. At least 3 of them are for complaining to the ref, and he's a captain.
I get it.
The captain shouldn't do that.
It's not good enough, but it's not good enough, bro. What do you want to say? He's like, it's not the behavior that you want to see from the captain of Manchester United.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, Manchester United are a mess. This whole team is a mess, and he's part of the mess. And
yes,
what do you expect? So, who would want to be captain of this team?
Is pretty
Nobody
bad.
would want to be captain of this
team. I don't
team,
mean
bro.
to kill the guy, but this is pretty bad. This is I couldn't even I feel bad about it. Like, I feel bad. This is just so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to kick him. Because this is just, to me, this is inexcusable. This is below the armband. This is like he shouldn't be the captain, in my opinion. I don't think your best player needs to be your captain. That's what I think at the end of the day. And I think Bruno wanted it, and I think he knew what he needed to work on. I think the 7-0 last year at Liverpool was exactly what he needed to clean up about his game, and he isn't cleaning it up. And this is a direct result, and he's going to get more heat for it. I hate to see it. I wanted to see him readjust, improve. And hopefully this leads to it because as a fan going to Anfield without him and the team, it's a backbreaker. It's like the yellow that Casemiro got when we were going to Arsenal last year. That killed us. That put me down. And this one, we already know we're going to lose.
I mean, we already know we're going to lose.
This hurts, dude. Our best player out in a big. It's just tough. It's a real tough one. This is a tough, and it feels like it's such a self-inflicted one. That's the real point here. But you're right. It's going to be a tough game without your best player. Yeah, it's going to be worse. 88th minute, Bournemouth makes a sub. 92nd minute, this was a hysterical goal. Again, question the goalkeeping, handball into the net. But, either way, 3-0. Hey, we're done. Bournemouth won for the history books. First win to Old Trafford. 3-0.
United cooked.
Yeah,
bro. What? Jesus, that's
like
the XG?
like a Christmas
That's the
ham,
XG?
baby.
That's the XG?
Cooked like a Christmas ham.
No, I didn't cook my ham.
They also
that well
hit the
done, bro.
post.
Jesus Christ.
They also hit
20
the
shots?
post too. XG 1.41 to United to 1.62 for Bournemouth. 20 shots for United, 10 to Bournemouth, 3 on target for United,
Jesus.
4 for Bournemouth.
That
Like I said,
conversion rate of shots.
we weren't on target.
This team has a tendency, like, we shoot when we should pass and we pass when we should shoot. The team, if we just made that extra pass, there was a chance with Delo, there was a chance with Garnacho, and instead, we got to play the extra pass because then it opens up the following pass that leads to a goal, and we just don't do that enough. And when we do it, we score. And it's like, I'm not excusing the performance, but we had some chances to stay in the game if we didn't defend so poorly, right? They had 4 shots on target. They scored 3 goals. That's tough, bro. That's a tough pill to swallow, but that's how things are going to United. It's a fucking avalanche of just dog shit. We're just
How's the
drowning
excuse
it.
business?
I'm not even in it, bro.
Excuse business
I'm not
is
even
booming
making
right now.
excuses. I
You know,
got
it's like-
nothing, bro. It's the weekend.
I'll tell
I'm
you
off.
what. I'll tell
I'm
you
taking
what.
off, baby.
I'll tell you
My
what.
feet are up.
My
My feet are up.
You go to the excuse factory, right? The first thing you notice is like the chimney's just smoke blowing out. Like
Nah, it's
the
closed,
place
bro.
is shaking
We're on
because
strike, bro.
the
We're on
place
strike.
the place is shaking because they're coming with so many excuses for this shit team. You walk in there and you see a excuse table, right? The excuse table is Manchester United, 1, winning the league, and then because of VAR, we should pass when we don't shoot. All the excuses you go down. We're winning the Champions League, the excuse table. We're winning the Champions League too. It's the excuse business is booming these days. The holiday season, you got to be delivering them all. There's tons of holiday fixtures. You got to be shipping out all these excuses. Amazon Prime delivery.
What am I supposed to say to that? Like,
Amazon Prime.
if the
Amazon
Contra
Prime.
is like the winch factory next door, we're
Amazon Prime.
competing factories. I have the excuse factory going overtime. We have the wine factor going overtime, competing for business. 2 shops, opposite sides of the street. And you guess what? We're both working big for the holidays.
Shitfootball.com.
We're both
Hey,
working big for the holidays.
I'll tell you what, shitfootball.com, also busy, also delivering shitfootball, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, right. Next day delivery,
every
bro.
3 days.
Like,
We got
yeah,
Tuesday.
you get a kick in the nuts. Oh, and then they're gonna shit on your face. Scousers, bro. Fucking
Tuesday
big
we're
tooth
delivering.
clop.
We're delivering another performance. Getting into the action.
And we'll be there every step of the way, giving you all that like hot banter just to make you feel better.
I'll tell you what, it's
These dog shit sandwiches, bro.
watching this team this much in this
Too
state
much.
is
Too
brutal.
much.
Adam Crafton, author for The Athletic,
Smart guy.
smart guy. I really like his takes there. He tweeted, the McTominay thing is pure Fellaini. Evidently makes the team function in a worse way as a collective, hinders control of a match, turns over the ball too often, but individually will stand out with goals and application. I totally agree with this, and that's why shitfootball.com, it's really survival football. It's like whenever a manager's back against the wall, he's playing McTominay because he knows no matter what, this guy's going to work. But you see how open the midfield is. It just really, it's an unstable. If you saw Chelsea, that's just, it's not professional. It's so open. It's so back and forth. Galatasaray as well. And I just think that when you're playing that game, the Fellaini, the McTominay game, you're hanging on. It's just going to be where this road goes. It's brutal.
We're at a place where the team has gotten so complacent. You forget the manager. The manager is just one part of this puzzle, but like the team has so many overpaid players who shouldn't be there, who have a bad attitude that once again, and we saw this as early as at LVG, like you said, he was playing Fellaini when he was fighting for his life. Because every manager at some point in the last 10 years has had to fight for their life. And half the players are such bums that they won't even run around for the manager, that you have to play the same people who at least are going to have a little bit of heart, a little bit of pride. And that's where McTominay is, bro. It's like he can score a goal, but you lose the possession factor that Erik ten Hag, I think, likes to see between, linking up the defense with the attack. But at the same time, bro, it's like Mount's injured, Eriksen's injured, Casemiro's injured. So I think it's a combination of the two, but it is definitely like at least he knows it's going to work for him because some of these other players aren't even trying to work, bro. Can't even muster up an apology. That's my favorite. Can't even say, so sorry. So sorry that I didn't work hard. I'm back. Like, can't say so sorry? Come on.
What do we know? Let's check in with the manager, Erik ten Hag.
Not feelings at the end of the game.
Yeah, of course. Annoyed and disappointed. Definitely, I expected something different. I hope before the game you can build on that performance and the result from Chelsea. So then it's very disappointed with the way we started the game. And then I think we did a long time everything to get back in the game. But I think we got a warning shot, almost penalty. Then in the build-up, we make a mistake, and then we are not good in the rest defense. So yeah, that is disappointing. And you're following facts, and as I say, we did, and we put a lot of effort in to return in the game. But then the brilliance, the movements in the box were not there, probably to get the equalizer. And after the 2-0, we break down, and so we have to do the things better.
Simon, I mean, it felt like the lowest moment of the season. How do you get the guys back in and reset and have what is a crucial moment?
I think, as I say, the way we started is no good. That is poor. Yes, first 5 minutes of the game, and especially against an opponent like today, a very good transition team. So you give them the perfect circumstances, and so it shouldn't happen. But I think we did everything to return in the game, and we had a lot of attacks. And as I said, we didn't came to a point to return in the game, although we had the opportunities.
James.
I mean, hell of a question about the low point in the season. Look, the manager, you think it's tough doing a podcast? Probably tough being the coach of this team. But at the end of the day, he says it's like a transition team. You got to be careful of it. I think he gave them exactly what they wanted. We were flying forward. We were giving I don't understand that either. It doesn't, like, the tactics don't really make it. Just like we're just playing this one style. Wild man, no one in the middle of the park, just bombing forward. We're not scoring, and then we're just totally vulnerable. And when we started that at 5 minutes in, it just, again, look, it's a tough spot for the manager. The video of him on the touchline after the game, you can tell he's fighting for his life, and this is a backbreaker, the 3-0 at home. You could tell this one. I really felt like, Everton squeaked it, tough Galatasaray draw, you get the tough L, then you come back with the Chelsea game, and then this, it's just every game is just such a dogfight for this team, and just clinging on by the manager. It's tough. It's tough to see, sir.
We keep getting kicked in the balls, just like over and over and over. No, it's absolutely right. Wasn't nearly good enough. Wasn't good enough for minute one. And I think the only way the style of play works is that everyone literally busts their lungs for 100 minutes. I mean, it's the only way. It's like, in order to push forward the way he likes to push forward, I think we saw this in moments in Chelsea, and then defend like animals. It's like you need to have everyone, all 10 of the outfield players, running their lungs out for 90 minutes. And unless you do that, you will get fucking cooked on the counter, and we keep getting cooked on the counter. And
there's also the bad giveaways, right? Luke Shaw, bad giveaway.
Right. And then not defending. Once you gave it away,
yeah, exactly.
We gave it away a bunch at Chelsea, but we would track back like animals. They were all over them. And then today we'd give it away. And
inconsistency is what's going to kill you.
It's that second goal and then the third, 5 minutes later, it's like the team is so soft that if they had any adversity, they crumble like a house of cards. It's weak, bro. It's a weak mentality. It's tough to swallow.
All right. Looking at the table, Manchester United, 16 games, 27 points. That puts us in 6th place, tied with Tottenham, but they got the game in hand at 15. Shitty on 30, 15. Villa, 32, 15. Arsenal, 36 at 15. And the Scouse Bastards, 16 played, 37 points. They are top of the table, sir. If that doesn't rub salt in the wound. The Scouse Bastards on the rise in the holiday season, and we are going to be cannon fodder for them. at Anfield. This is going. It's like the Cat 6 hurricane. It's brewing off the coast. It's coming down, sir. I just have this feeling that
You have a feeling? This guy. What are you, like a prophet?
7-0 last year. It's like
beat up,
it's like
bro.
we're
We're
gonna
gonna
get
shit kicked out of us.
You know,
Bruno, like one of the guys that, sure, imperfect by far, shouldn't be captain. That's questionable, but at least he's gonna work for 90 minutes. Whether he's gonna have a good game or a bad game, he runs. So this could get
I
so
agree.
ugly.
I agree with that.
We got to pack it in, bro. You got to play 3 center backs. You got to play 2 holding midfielders. You got to play 1 attacker, and that's it. And just literally just like count, just try and counter. Play counter with Hoyland.
lower your expectations. That's
We're
all
gonna
I
get
gotta
beat
tell
up by. We'll talk about it in score predictions, sir.
Sir. We got a next match though that isn't that one,
Sure.
and we got to get into this.
Who are we playing?
You hear that?
All I hear is Hans and Franz, bro. All I hear is bad beat drop. It's like it's
Are we
canceling
still
out the
in?
end.
We're still in the Champions
Yeah, we're gonna hear
League?
this one more time after
It's
this.
beautiful. It's beautiful. Sir, it's Champions League nights. Old Trafford might be the last one for a while here. Manchester United versus Bayern Munich. Old Trafford. Tuesday, December 12th, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Group A. Bayern already qualified for the knockout stages, sir. 13 points. Copenhagen 5. Galatasaray 5. We gave them a lot of points. By the way, we're last. 4th. With 4 points. In order for United to get knockout stage football, we must beat Bayern Munich at home and have Copenhagen and Galatasaray draw. That is the only way we're getting out and hearing this music. Hans and Franz, we need to win or draw. If we draw, it comes down to goal differential. So there is European football on the line. I want European football. I want Hans and Franz. I want knockout stage football. We're back, baby. We're going to beat Bayern Munich. How are we feeling?
We need a result. We need a result even beyond moving to the next stage of the Champions League, which is out of our hands. Even if we do win, it's out of our hands. So we need some luck. But the fact that we have played so poorly, we still have some route, like a conceivable route to getting into the knockout stage is kind of fucking insane. But even still, better than whatever I have to say. I see Europe in our sights, but I think it's going to be the Hans and Franz Cup.
Good.
And you know what? At this point, part of me is like, we should have less focus so we can concentrate on the league. Laugh away, bro. Laugh away. I'm not winning the league, like finishing in top 4 of the league, because we're a top 4 team. We're not a titled. We are a top 4 team, bro. We're like what we used to laugh about with Arsenal.
No, I think you need as many ways to Europe as possible.
You
right?
convinced me. Look, historically, I would have thought that. I think in the Europa League, this team can get frisky in a cup. We went to 2 finals last year.
Exactly.
If we can get some boys, I think the boys back is going to be. I think Martinez, Casemiro, Mount, Eriksson. I think that will be helpful when we do have a bunch of games next year. So I'm hopeful it's going to be Europa League, because I don't see the Champions League working out for us. I think if we do pip a win, one of those other 2 teams is going to pip a win. But who knows, man? We could fucking bottle it and get annihilated by the Bayern Munich B team. So I'm not feeling very confident around Manchester United at the moment.
Lifetime versus Bayern Munich, sir. We've won 2, drawn 5, lost 5. First time we played them, 1998 in the Champions League, drew 2-2. Last 5, we've lost 3, won 1, drawn 1. Tommy Tuchel at the wheel, ex-Chelsea manager. We know him very well. He's a spite guy.
He doesn't like
and
United.
I think he doesn't like United. Old Trafford. He's also like egomaniac guy, so he's gonna want to win at Old Trafford. That's kind of the vibe I get from Tommy T. The handshake with Conte. He's kind of a mean dude. And,
he does look like a mean dude.
and I think he's thinking Old Trafford want to win, right? He's not thinking like,
beat him up bad.
If it was like Ancelotti or some more reasonable manager, you'd be thinking, get the guys a rest.
Even
come
Mourinho.
back.
Mourinho would like try and beat you 2-0.
Tommy T's an ego guy.
And they just got beat up bad by Frankfurt. Like, big loss, 5-1. So they're going to try and smoke us, I would think.
They did draw Copenhagen, which is an interesting part of this whole group.
But they already qualified
stage.
at that point, to be fair.
A little history on Bayern Munich. They were founded in 1900 by 11 football players led by Franz Johns. Not the same Franz in Hans and Franz, by the way. Just
Are
clarifying.
you sure? I think it could be the OG Franz.
They won their first national championship in 1932. They were not selected for the Bundesliga at its inception in 1963. However, they quickly rose to prominence in the mid-70s under the captaincy of Franz Beckenbauer, clinching the European Cup 3 times consecutively from 1974 and 1976. Also, they are the most successful club in German football, 33 league titles, 20 national cups, 6 European Cups / Champions League titles. Pretty impressive. And also, they got the sextuple in 2020. Bayern achieved the remarkable feat of winning the Champions League, League Cup, followed by the domestic Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, Club World Cup in the next season. So lots of silverware at Bayern Munich. The Bundesliga, it's one of those, it's not top tier, competes with La Liga, so you got to respect it, but they are obviously head and shoulders above the rest. And they got Harry Kane, who's going to be leading the line. By the way, 18 goals, 5 assists in the league, 4 goals, 2 assists in the Champions League. Yep, the American Red Devils thought we should have gone all in for Harry Kane, spent every single dollar we had to get him. He wanted to come to United. It was the only team in England he would consider. We probably needed to pay through the nose to get him. But you look at those goals and you look at how we're performing right now and think, damn, that was the old school Fergie move. Probably should be wearing red at Old Trafford.
Definitely should be wearing red at Old Trafford. I don't think he'd get as many goals because, I don't think we create enough chances, but he's a difference maker. He's a huge player.
And the assists.
And if you were to do that summer over again, you do everything you could to get Harry Kane, and then whatever you have left over, you kind of
But we don't know what we're doing
elsewhere.
The front office is
who's in
just
charge?
shit.
John Murtaugh, bro, and they're out. John Murtaugh out. Richard Arnold out.
They also
Bayern
got
Munich in.
They also got Kim, the center back we were interested in, Choupo-Moting, Kingsley Coman, Sane, Kane, Neuer,
Fucking
Upamecano,
stacked, bro. They're
another
stacked,
player
bro.
we were linked to. So
stacked.
like all Alphonso Davies, by the way, too. Like stack city,
stacked,
like
bro.
just another level.
They can play the bees and they can still smoke us.
Physio room for United. Malacia out, Casemiro out, Martinez out, Eriksson out, Mason Mount out, Lindelof. Knock. Sancho might apologize. We'll see.
he
Keep
will
you
not
posted.
apologize.
Ahmad, he's out. Given those the odds, what are your 11? We got to see Varane. Champions League Varane. We're going to see Champions League winning center back against a top team.
We certainly should.
We're going to have manager surviving
I'm
11.
going Bayern Deer.
I'm
going. You said 11. You remember 11?
No, I'm going to say, are you going, who hasn't the manager pissed off 11? Or are you going to go with the surviving
I'm going to
football?
pick the 11 that I would pick that almost certainly won't play. So let me have a go on
Let's
that.
go.
I'm picking Bayern Deer and net because Onana's been awful in the Champions League. Just about every
Love
single
that.
game.
I love that pick,
Every
sir.
game, literally every game in the Champions League, he's at least made one error, and the last one he made
But he is
2
the
errors.
ETH. Eric Ten Hag has his boys. He's a boy.
Sir, you wanted to know the 11.
I'm just telling you.
I would pick.
That's why he doesn't pick him,
I'm
right?
not picking the 11 that I think he's going to be picked. I'm picking the 11 that Alex from the American Devils podcast would pick if he was the manager, which he's not. So I'm going to pick Bayern Deer and net, AWB, Varane, Maguire, Shaw. I'm going to do Kobe, Amrabat, Bruno. I'm going to do Rashford on the left. I'm going to do Hoyland up front, and I'm going to do Garnacho on the right. Sir, who you got?
I love the Bayern Deer pick, and the only thing I was saying about that is it seems that he should have come in already, right?
should've.
At least one game
should've.
we should have seen Onana take a seat, I think. But you do have that, what I think is like kind of like the favoritism for Anthony or the favoritism for Onana, the Ajax connect, right? I think he's backing his boy, which hasn't gone horrible, right? In the EPL, Onana isn't Like
He's been better than the Champions
he's
League.
been better, for sure. Not a great start, but he's got to settle. You got to give anyone a year. I think you come to United, you give him a
Especially
season.
goalies.
I'm gonna say Onana. He's gonna back his boy.
Definitely.
I think it's gonna be Dalot, Magoo, Shaw, Reguilon, Amrabat, McTominay, Bruno, Garnacho, Martial, Anthony. Survivalshitfootball.com. The manager's surviving, bro. He's got to pick the
You
players.
shouldn't play Martial because he doesn't want to run for
played him
nobody.
I'm just saying, like,
The only person I know who likes to run less
Hoyland.
than Martial is me, bro.
I'll let you know is like I'm picking the 11. I think the manager is going to
it.
pick. And by the way, that is not our best 11.
No, it's not.
Like the fact that Facundo can't get in until it's 3-0 is insane. The fact that he picked Martial again over Hoyland is absolutely insane. Like these 11s are showing me the manager is just surviving, and it's a loyalty battle. He's fallen out with Varane. He can't get a game. It's like all of it, just picking people that are loyal to him, and it's like that doesn't help the team win. That doesn't help United with anything, right? Booking the bookies, sir, they got it down the middle, plus 155 for each team, plus 280 for the draw. This is Bayern easy money, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is like how weak of a side do they play? Do United decide to show up? Probably not. Draw. I can see a draw. I can see us losing big time given the odds. What is your score prediction, sir?
I think Tommy T is going to come. He's going to come hard. I'm hoping for the draw. I'm hoping for like the 1-1. Well, I'm hoping for 1-1. I'm hoping this could be back like based on the day, the loyalty 11 breaking down 3-0. Like this could be death blow, like big loss. But I'm thinking we're going to have more of that, tough game, fight one game, often, more of that variability.
On one, off one?
Just like inconsistent.
Yeah,
like
that's
so
where we
I think
are.
it's like Bruno could have a worldie because he's pissed about the yellow, or like this type of up and down. The yo-yo. We're yo-yoing right now. I think we're yo-yoing on a downtrend. And then we'll see where the cat dies. But right now, I'm going to say 1-1 because I'm hoping we get European football. We're rolling down the table. We need a way to get in the Champions League next season. That's the one I'm worried about.
Yeah, I think it's going to get worse before it's better. I think we're going to get battered in our next two games, and the noise is going to keep growing. So I'm going to say 4-1 Bayern. United just get thrown out of Europe.
How dare you?
How dare I? I have eyes, bro. I've been watching this team. It's going to happen. The same thing's going to happen. It's like we're not going to come out and win those 50-50s. They're going to slice us open on the counter because we're not going to track back. And then when we do get chances, we'll be super wasteful. It's what we've seen all season.
So let's get into the news. United in the news. So we got some news. Your English Premier League Manager of the Month for November, Eric Ten Hag, sir. Player of the Month, Harry Maguire. Goal of the Month, I think goal of the season, Garnacho. United getting all the Barclays awards. Are they trolling? Is this is just like the world? It's like Bizarro land, right? Manager of the Month. He's on the hot seat.
It's
It's
United
crazy,
in the season, right? I mean, especially the last 2 months, highs and lows. I mean, it's
Not a lot of
deserved.
games, to be fair.
It's
in
3
November.
games, 3 wins, 0 conceded. That's hard to argue against. So he was always going to get it. I think Magoo was terrific. I think Magoo was awesome against Chelsea and had some standout performances in the month. And then the most clear cut of all the awards is Garnacho. Like you said, obviously he's going to win goal of the month. He should win goal of the season and arguably goal of the season for Europe. So, bro, November was a decent month in the league at least. Not so much in the other competitions. But you know what? December is going to be a totally different gauntlet because not only did we just get beat up by probably the team we should beat without a doubt in the league, we have to play Liverpool, we have to play West Ham, we have to play fucking Villa, who are now top 3 Villa. So it's going to be a very, very difficult month. And, I think the only reason the manager could survive if we do just like completely fall apart is that they're moving ships around in the front office, and he might survive because of that.
But he's manager of the month. I mean, the contrast I wanted to show on this point is like he's manager of the month for November.
Do you think he doesn't deserve manager of the month for November?
No, I think it's fair to say, hey, manager of the month for November. I think it's fair. Maguire won. But what I'm comparing and contrasting is manager of the month for November, and then you look at the odds. The next EPL manager to be sacked, odds-on favorite, Eric Ten Hag at plus 800. The next manager, plus 1,600. is Burnley, and they're in the drop. So it's the compare and contrast of he's manager of the month for November, but he's number 1 odds to be sacked next in the league, which is incredible, right?
I mean, that's United. It's like the hot seat is much hotter. The peak is, the incline is much steeper at United, and I don't think he should be the guy that should be sacked. He's got plenty of blame should be placed on his shoulders, but I don't make those decisions, and a lot of it is public perception, bro. And like you said, half these players, they're bluffers. They don't want to run for nobody anyway. They certainly don't want to run for this manager or the next manager. And he's fighting for his life. And you know what? When you're fighting for life and you're playing like Bayern, Liverpool away, a really fucking good Villa, an always difficult West Ham. I think that one's in London. So, like, probably ain't looking good. Ain't looking good for nobody.
Look, I totally agree. And I think look, the manager of the month, I agree that's fair. For him to be leading, I think it's unfair for him to be the betting favorite.
So do I.
But you take a step back, right, and you look at it and be like, what games, like list the number of games we've played well this season. Like, I remember that we beat Crystal Palace B team. That was a good game.
Chelsea.
In the EFL Cup. We
played well, bro. You can't. I mean, I've watched that game again twice.
It was sloppy. It was sloppy. But that's not like you're like, yeah. As a fan, that's like a feel good game. But is that like a dominant performance? Like we were controlling the match. That's what I'm looking for.
We had like 4 XG. I mean, the most XG we've had like in 3 years. I think that was better. There were certainly issues you need to fix. It wasn't flawless.
But my point is like that's 2. And there's a lot of games this year, right?
And we're still 3 points off top 4. So it's like we played so poorly.
No, but what I'm trying to say is like I would expect like 5. You're like, we dominated them. We played really well. There's signs of X, Y, and Z. And so I think really that's the issue as a fan that I have is like I can point to one game I think we played well, tip to toe, 90 minutes, saw a shift, saw what we were trying to do tactically. And that's tough. That's tough. And the Chelsea game, you're right. That was a good vibe, but it was too open for me, too sloppy. And I think we saw the slop. It's just this football has just not been good. So we've had a lot of players. We had a lot of injuries. We played a lot of games. And I think the verdict across those games is that it's just kind of all over the board. And that's just if you're going to be an elite European football team, consistency is what you need. Consistency in results and performances. And you're going to be judged at the harshest level as the manager of Manchester United. And for better or for wrong, I think it's a results-based game first. And I think the results have gone our way. Like you said, you just said we're 3 points off top 4. I think the ball has bounced our way in these like closer games where the results have kind of maybe overperformed, but the football has been abysmal. And I think that ultimately will catch up with you over time. And that's what I think, the fans and you and me watching just bad defending, losing to bad teams. You start losing at home, last season the home was our fortress. It was like shit away, we're good at home. That starts going. The McSauce reliance, the survival 11s, that's just a tough time at United right now, and it's tough and it's hard to see. It's hard as fans. We love this club, and it's a tough position to be in, and seeing those stats on the next manager, it's like you don't want that either. It's heartbreaking, sir. It's not. Nobody wants to be here.
No, bro. And you could be like, I know there's plenty of people who are on the Eric Ten Hag out train, but like, does anybody want to do through another manager thing and like the hype train of the new guy and like the whole like, oh, they bring in all these new people and then he needs to sign. It's just like we need to take a step back and be like, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck is Manchester United doing? We need to bring in the people that Ratcliffe is bringing in, smart people who have done it in Europe at other top clubs, and just have some continuity across managers. That's what you need to do. You need to build a squad, and we got to. Most importantly, it ain't
we have a shit squad. We have a shit squad.
We don't have. You said we want to be an elite football club. The only thing elite about Manchester United is our history right now. Like there's nothing elite about this club, given how it's been spent, how it's been run, how it's been managed, everything over the last decade. And we have to build. We have to literally start over, bro. Like you said, you talk about all the time. We have to burn down the lot. We basically do. We have to sack 70% of the squad, sell them for parts, get rid of them, and then you have to start buying hungry young players who are happy to run a lot. Because no matter what, I don't care if it's this manager or the next. Like no matter what, you have to run and work harder than everybody else in this league, or you're gonna get beat by the Bournemouths and the Wolves and the other mid to low table teams, because guess what? They're going to run their asses off because they are fighting for their life. They are fighting to survive and not get relegated. And that's the bar, bro. It's like you can't be this team that's just like slick and doesn't have to run and then just like pings it around and scores goals, because guess what? Even City have to work their ass off now in this league because it is so fucking competitive. And it's not like anything we've seen before, because 11, 12 years ago, it was not like this. The teams that were 12th, they're 12th for a reason. Now the teams that are 12th, like if you are not on your game, they will bite you in the ass.
And like transitioning into the next bit of news here, sir, I think you said it well. Sir Dave Brailsford and Jean-Claude Blanc meeting executives at Old Trafford. They're coming in. Heads are going to roll. Departments are going to change. The new era of Manchester United is very close, sir. So close we can taste it. This is what we need. You have guys with the resume. Jean-Claude Blanc, the resume, built PSG, right? You look at PSG, we don't want the Qataris to own us because you're going to get another PSG. You're going to get a bunch of bluffers who control everything, overpaid.
We already have that.
We need to go from that to literally no one making over 200K
RB Leipzig.
and get younger. Exactly. And Rangnick said it all, open heart surgery, get rid of them all. And so for me, the pitch, you look at the squad, you look at the players, and we're just not good enough. It's not a good enough. It's not a good squad. It's not a good team. Look, a lot of those players, look, I have to call it straight, and I have to say, Anthony blows, Arambot, bad call. You got to look at Højlund. That you need goals. You can't sign a kid and overpay for him. He's a good player for the long term, but if you need somebody more senior who can score. Just like the players that we've assembled, the Mason Mount signing hasn't come good. He's been injured, unfortunate, but a lot of these players that we've brought in under this manager we've whiffed on such a high percentage, whether rightfully or wrongfully, injuries, etc. But the whiffing has been, we need these players to work out. We're just in such this bad spot. And with this squad, it's that's why we got to burn it down and start anew. Because there's nothing in this team that you need to acquire a whole new team. You got to get rid of center backs. You got to buy 3 center backs. You got to get rid of all the left. You got to get rid of everyone except for Luke Shaw, the back line, basically. You got to start anew. And it's there's no patchwork DOF work. This is tear it down, rebuild it. Tear it down, 2-year project, rebuild it for the 3rd year. And we're going to see that. And as a fan, if we see a project that is maintained and communicated to fans and is properly run, and we take the L and finish 9th next season, and we finish 8th the next year, and then we're getting these contracts off the books, and then we're signing new promising young talent, and we get rid of this bad luck at Old Trafford and Carrington, I would rather do that than what we're trying to do now, which is 80millionbluffer.com, sign them up. I don't need this no more. I need to get rid of these guys, and I need to start from scratch, sir. That's what we need. And these guys, I think, are going to see the picture and do it that way because they're going to look at the last 10 years and they're going to be no more.
Amen, dude. It's everything that we've made mistakes on, it's very obvious. It's we repeated the same mistakes over and over and over again. And as that famous quote, that's insanity, expecting something different. So I'm 100% with you. I'm in for the long haul. I ain't going nowhere. I don't care how much heartburn this team causes me and how much distress and how much I overreact for the losses and overreact for the wins. I'm not going anywhere, bro. My kids are going to inherit my Manchester United season ticket someday, and I'll be taking them until my end of days, bro, because I love this team so much. So I'm with you. It's we gotta start over. I think there are, we said, there's 7-8 players worth keeping. You have to sell 22 of them, and that's gonna take time. But every team that's lost its way, historically relevant team that lost its way and then has come back, and even teams that weren't historically relevant. If you look at even City, they had to get rid of certain players that a club like us would be nostalgic about. A club like us would keep a company and an Aguero past their sell-by date.
Exactly.
And they didn't. They fucking shipped them out, and they brought in studs. And then if the studs didn't work out, they brought in new studs. Yeah. Arsenal, they got rid of all the fucking over. Rashford's got to go, bro. Gotta sell that guy. And I was, dude, trust me, Rashford was one of my guys until a couple of weeks ago. Whereas you can't have players that you're going to pay $20 million a year that aren't willing to run their asses off. So you sell everybody, you go low and slow. You don't go and spend $100 million on even an Enzo or a fucking whoever. You just you buy these players from Germany, from France, from South America. You spend 25, 30, 40 million on them, players you haven't even heard of. And then you just find out who's got sticking power, who's willing to work their ass off. that's it. If you get players in that are willing to run their asses off, we're going to be in a much better position than now, where it's like you got guys on $250 a week that are like, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I'm getting paid top dollar. I don't have to apologize to the manager, bro. Jadon Sancho will be like, hey, let me back in.
Sorry, it's over. The big money deals kill you, and that's what I think the number one case study is basically you give anyone too much money, they're not going to play for you. Like it's like at a certain point, a boxer gets punched in the head, and then he gets paid so much money, he's like, I don't want to do that anymore. So it's like a footballer, same thing. It's like how many games? 50.
A lot of
all
games.
Year. I got to run like a dog
for 10
this
months.
like crazy Dutch guy. Like I'm good, bro. It's like that Sancho's like I'm good, bro.
Yeah,
like
fire the manager.
Jumping into fan questions here at Tzolski. We are back in the cycle that we've seen since Sir Alex retired. Nothing is going to change until Glazer's out. Are players to blame? Sure, but no use in getting our hopes up. Come on, Todd. We got
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
We're still good, man.
Look, I think you got to give Ratcliffe a chance. Look, I'm saying I think they're shrewd and smart businessmen. I don't think they're going to get it right from day one, but I think they're going to be focused on the footballing side of things, and they're going to learn from their mistakes. I think smart people can't just get it right. That's dumb luck. It's when figuring it out over time.
Learning from mistakes.
If you have people who have experience, they've learned from those mistakes, so they hopefully won't make as many this time, and the ones that they do, they'll correct sooner. That's what I'm banking on. That's all I'm doing it with Jean-Claude and Paul Mitchell, most likely. At BryGuy666, Bruno gave up the first goal, but the lads held strong. McTominay played like shit and also gave up the second. Then the lads fell apart. We make chances but aren't clinical enough to finish. Alex is right. We won't be good for another 10 to 20 years. Hot and cold FC. We suck again, sir.
I mean, there's the heart and the head, fellas and ladies. And like the heart and the head are often in conflict. And it relates to my head. And my head's telling me we are going to suck for another decade to two. I'm hopeful that Ratcliffe can figure it out probably optimistically, like challenging, like even an Arsenal challenging, we're not going to win kind of thing. 5 years from now, best case scenario. Because here's my concern around Ratcliffe. I'm backing him, bro. I'm backing whatever hope we can get. But at the end of the day, my concerns around Ratcliffe are twofold. A, he won't go deep enough. He will not sell the Rashfords that need to be sold. He has shown that he needs to be sold. It's just simple as that. And B, that the way the deal is structured, like they're going to have full say, but they're still going to be kind of conflicts with the Glazers vis-a-vis what they want to do, whether it's on summer tour or whatever. So it just... I don't know, man. I still think it's going to be a long haul before we're back to the promised land, because that's how football works and that's how the universe works. It's like we can't have it as good as we had it for 27 years under Fergie and not have at least 20 years of shit. And we're 11 years in, so maybe 9 left.
I thought we had to win the first title within the first decade. Like you gotta prove that you can do it. If not, it's going to last a while. And we're it's more like in 20. It's like you're going to be in a 20
closer to 20 than 10, right?
You're gonna be, especially with everyone. Like, by the way, we keep getting worse, but everyone else is getting
way better, bro. Look at Villa.
No, it's like, it's brutal. At the real Baccarat, to the people saying Ten Hag needs to go, who to replace him with? Not in the short term, but the long term. I do not see any good options at the moment. Look, that is true, but it's more about the project. At the end of the day, people saying Ten Hag needs to go. I don't think they're thinking of who needs to come in. There's a lot of good managers at the moment in the league doing well. De Serbe is one of them. Unai Emery is another.
Let's get Unai, baby. Unai, what do you think about that? Would you think Unai?
Ancelotti
is not coming to Manchester United, bro.
There was rumors about Ancelotti, but you have to think about any new owner, and this is not against Ten Hag. Any new owner coming in is going to want to put his guy in. Just like Todd Boehly did at Chelsea, right? Todd Boehly came in and got rid of Tuchel.
That was a huge mistake.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
But you don't pay a couple of billion for a toy and then not want to do what you want. You have to get in the head of the billionaire guy. So it's like Ratcliffe's going to want to come in, and Ten Hag's going to get some rope, but there's going to be a new manager. There's going to be a new manager, and it's going to be like a new project that's going to be kicked off probably next season. And you know what? In my opinion, I would be going for probably a De Serbi. I would go for somebody like that, and I would get cut heads. Anyone making over 200K, I'd get rid of, and I'd just go younger and then let some psychopath like that run the team for 2 to 3 years. Because as much as you hate to see it, it's like Ten Hag's not part of that next phase of United, and I think that just comes down to the owner wants to put his stamp on it. Not saying good or bad about him. It's just the situation when a new owner comes in, they want their guys.
But it is a fact. I mean, John makes a very good point. John America doubles the John with the tweet. It's always about like who you replace him with, which is why, the players aren't going to play for him. I don't really care about the players anymore. You run it out to the end of the season because anyone that you want to recruit to be your manager is not available in December. Like all the elite managers are taken and all the up and coming managers are also taken. So if you're like in Jan 1 and we fired Erik ten Hag, which may or may not happen because we absolutely fall apart in December, the options are like Graham Potter, who was an awful manager, right? And he got the whole
There's probably
he got the
it's more
bright
of an
shine.
interim. I think this
yeah,
year.
but how do interims
it's
go, bro? Like,
no, I think this year it would be an interim Steve McLaren type of thing, or
but we know how that goes too. It's like,
I know. I'm not saying.
I think you wait until the summer and then like make an assessment at the end of the season because we're not going to get relegated.
I think you'll see how Anfield goes. I think that's going to tell you a lot.
We know we're
going
to lose, bro. So it's like I don't think you need
not
to see how Anfield
about.
goes.
It's not about that. It's about like it's a results based game, right? It's a results based business. It's like if we can stay around 6th and 5th and we're in striking distance of top 4 and we're pulling out results, even if the football's shit, even if we were playing horrible and it's Scotty McTominay 24/7. Right, Harry Magoo 24/7, and we're in 5th and 6th, and we're in striking distance of fourth place. The manager should be completely bulletproof.
And that's where we are right now.
If we are ripping down, and it is getting worse and worse and worse, like then that is when he goes. Like regardless of what I want, it's just that's how it's going to go. So it's like shit. Football frustrates people, but results are what kill you. Right. So if you can keep up, like. Dude, we lost to Bournemouth. Doesn't matter. Look at the table. We're still in the mix. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a results-based game, and the results will lead this discussion, not fans caring, right? It will be like, if we lose and lose and lose and lose, and it becomes untenable, the manager will lose his job. That is not up to me. That's just because it is the results game.
That's the way it goes. And I'm less worried about Anfield. I know it's going to happen at Anfield. I'm more worried about West Ham.
But if you're in year 1 of a new project, right, and you're losing and you're coming in 12th, you got to give the manager time. It's just like we're in this weird tweener where we got a new owner now, and it's just like all
basically
fucked.
new. It's like year 2. I mean, it's year 2 for Christ's sakes.
It's 400 for the 400 million.
Yeah, but that's more of a reason to give him
not,
time.
Like, yeah.
It's more of a reason to give him time.
I think the results are what will lead the line.
They will, of course, they will.
You know what? Graham Potter, new manager, new project, shit results. He's out. Right? Is that fair? No, but it's what they did. Right? It's like that's like kind of the thing where it's like results speak volumes about. How managers get the sack at the clubs, and right now our results are not bad. I'm saying the results are actually like full steam ahead as far as it's a tough result today, but where we are on the table and how we've stacked up so far, it's full steam ahead in my opinion.
No, I mean I don't disagree. And here's the thing about like the survey. It's like I think we have to be careful about these coaches that go into a really good project with like top players who all want to run hard because
of course
we thought Graham Potter was a good coach
yes.
based on Brighton, and now like I'm not saying the survey is not a good coach, but like I think going into a team where you have 20-year-olds that are so hungry to just run their ass off.
I have no doubt we'll break at least 4 more managers. I have
10
no
to 20
doubt
years more, bro.
I like there's no. It's just like my view on managers. And United is you just need to like literally try as many as possible, and one will stick. It's like someone's gonna stick. Dude.
I don't think
somebody's gonna.
It's not like dating, bro. It's like it's like
someone's gonna stick.
Do they
someone's
do
gonna,
that?
Someone's gonna sit in that chair, and it's not gonna be too big for them. And they're gonna be like, look at Liverpool. How many managers they have over the 30 years of despair? A lot of them, and they didn't do nothing. And they bought players, and they did that. And there was one manager who came in, and he figured it out, and he didn't do it without spending a lot of money. And it's like, you need to find that guy. You need to find the guy. Like, you need to find the guy who can be the manager for 20 years, dude. And I don't know how else. We've found a few, not the guys.
The next manager, he could be the most successful manager we could hope for because there will never be a manager that's at this club for 20 years. It just, the game doesn't work like that no more. It's like, Pep will not be.
Pep will be a decade.
A decade is not
Klopp
2 decades.
Could do a decade. Fine. I'll revise it to a decade.
Yeah,
yes,
decade is now the bar.
Yes,
if you do a decade, that means you've been very successful.
You can find someone who likes it.
10 years,
does
yes.
well,
20 years, that's done. That generation's over.
Like, but those teams struggled, until they found that guy. At Daniel 298-12166, quote, bench Rashford, that's the solution. Oh wait, that didn't work. Get rid of Wout. He doesn't score goals. Oh wait, neither does Højlund. Get rid of De Gea. He can't play out of the back. Wait, why does the ball always seem to be going in the net? Look, a little sarcasm there, but you get it, right? Some of these decisions haven't yielded better results for United. At Ant6C, quote, this team is too much of a roller coaster. The grudge Ten Hag has with Varane needs to be buried. I love Luke Shaw, but playing him at center back didn't help today. And at Golf Pro X2, we knew we weren't going to dominate possession, so instead of getting control of the midfield and by playing Mainu, Erik Ten Hag left gaps everywhere by playing McTominay, who's utterly useless unless he scores the odd goal. This is on Ten Hag once again. Another odd decision, sir. At you, Bosun. Well, fuck, that's been the case for a while. We need to clean house. Looks like sack the manager will have to be part of a reset. He's dug a hole where Sauce always plays and Varane is fifth string, like Ole and Mourinho before him. He's relying on poor players to see him.
That's the best tweet of the
through.
day, bro. That's like Ole and Jose before him. He's relying on poor players to see him through, and that's because we have fostered a mentality of bluffers being able to stick around and get overpaid and not have to work hard. And that's the same thing. Ole and Jose were fighting for their life, and they were playing players. The only players they were playing were the players who weren't as good as some of the players who weren't playing because they would work hard and run around for the manager. And that nothing's going to change until you get rid of the bluffer players, and nothing's going to change until you get rid of the people above them. And we seem to be doing that. The first, the latter, we're getting rid of the people above the manager, but that's going to take a long time, and you got to get a lot of these players out because you have fewer that you want to keep than you want to get rid of. That's the problem, is like more than half the team you want to get rid of.
More than half the team, sir. You said it here. That is it. That's the podcast. You like the America Devils and you like the Muppet Take. Thank you for listening. It's been a rough season. It's been a wild ride, sir. 500 episodes in. I feel like we're hitting new lows. Thank you to everyone who's listening and supporting this community. We love this club. We will be back, sir. It's just we're taking some of that bitter medicine at the moment. You like us? Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/AmericaDevils, AmericaDevils.store, AmericaDevils.com, sir. Give our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number one, how you doing? Los Angeles, California, Dublin, Ireland, Chicago, Illinois, Houston, Texas, New York, Dallas, Texas, Brooklyn, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., and last but not least, Oslo, Norway. Appreciate all the
Let's go, Oslo.
Listening week in, week out. I hope the weather is probably not warmer in Oslo than it is here today. But hang in there, folks. It's always darkest before it's pitch black is what I'm starting to feel these days. And how long before we see the light? A year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20. I don't know, but we're going to be there with you every step of the way.
You said it, sir. The only thing elite about us is our history. And don't forget, we've won the title 20 times. Let's go.